Hello, everyone. Lenny Pinna here in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, at home in my living room. Welcome to everyone. If you've not been here before, I do some candle reviews at home for Queen of the Girl Geeks. And I'm going to do a review of this collection, the Spellbound collection from Kringle Candles, and they launch tomorrow at noon. Thank you to Kringle for sending Bonnie at Queen of the Girl Geeks this beautiful collection to review. And Bonnie and I initially reviewed this a few weeks back when I was in Cleveland, and it's the second of their Halloween collections. And the other one, Bonnie, is the Boo Crew collection Bonnie is reviewing. So before I get started, I want to point out the lilies I have here from my garden. I cut them today. And what's interesting is they've been blooming for about 3 weeks, and there were about 21 blooms, and they started at the bottom and kept moving up, and the lower ones keep dying off. And at the beginning of the week, it's really interesting. I thought I want to include those in my video. I think they'll really look great with the candles. And there were 3 buds on top, and I thought, okay, no matter what, I'm going to be putting them in the video. And yesterday there were 3 buds, and this morning they were in bloom. And so I take that as a very auspicious occasion that these top ones are in bloom to accompany this video. For those of you who are going to ask later, maybe in the comments, I'm going to just point out that there's a photo up in the corner, and those were my parents, Raymond and Mary Jane Pinna, and I am sitting in their home. And behind me is a painting, my first painting that I did in 1985 in New York City with a palette knife and acrylic paints. So to begin, boy, this is going to be an in-depth review. It's going to take some time. And I spent the last 4 days with these 6 candles. And so I took copious notes because this is a very unique collection, and I really want to give it its due, to highlight it for you. But also for those of you who maybe don't know what it is, or wonder what it is, or just haven't thought of it, I want to give you the opportunity really to consider it and think, is that for me or not for me? The whole collection or none of the collection? Or are there a couple of these candles out of the collection that really speak to you? So I thought if I really do an in-depth review, I think you'll be clearer about what you might want or not want. So let's see, I'm going to start. And yes, I said I have notes here. So I may be reading notes and we're glancing at them, but probably even reading them at times. And so let's see. I'm going to start with, like I did with the sequence we had in Cleveland, I'm going to start with Tranquil Mind, and that's this one, Tranquil Mind, and it has the Om sign on it. If you haven't seen this collection yet, the Spellbound collection, there are chants on the back of each candle. So this one is, quiet the storm, still the tide, in silent calm, let peace abide. Let scattered thoughts now drift away, and bring me rest at end of day. In breath, in light, I find release. This flame becomes my well of peace. The ingredients for this Tranquil Mind candle are French lavender, chamomile flower, driftwood, bergamot, and white musk. Now, all of these candles have stones in them, but I burned them, and so the stones are all buried now right under the surface, so you won't see them. In my video with Bonnie, when we initially reviewed these, Bonnie knew the stones a lot better. So I wrote them down just to at least tell you what the name of the stone is and what the color is. And if you're more interested in hearing about, how they did a really great job of getting the stones to match the intention of the candle, the intent of the candle, you could look at our video, Bonnie and mine's video, that's linked to the end of this video, to review that one as well. So Oh, wow. What I want to say, first of all, is I love the cold smell of each one of these candles. They are beautiful. They are complex and, in some cases, in a sense, otherworldly, different, just so satisfying or so peaceful. And so when I take the first whiff and took the first whiff, it's a very soothing, clean scent. And I'm going to use this word once, hopefully, in this video. It's a very harmonious scent. All of the ingredients that I described come together and play and create a harmony of all of those scents. You sense all of them, but they're all played together the same way. And I mean, played together very beautifully. So the first notes are sage and wood, and there's a little, and the lavender. Excuse me, did I say that? There's so many I got confused. This is the French lavender one, scratch the sage, French lavender and chamomile flower. So the first notes are lavender, and it calms. You can just sense that. The bergamot lifts and brightens, and there's a very light floral note, and it balances with the dryness of the driftwood. And there's a tiny, this isn't bad, but there's a tiny little hint of like a soap, a creamy soap. And it's a scent which just kind of conveys, you can feel like a cleansing, like a purified cleansing in that scent. So it's not a detergent soap. It's just a light soap that just, you feel like there's cleanliness in it. And then there's a musk, and that contributes to sort of the creamy note. When I first burned this candle, the scent immediately was detected. It is a medium strong scent. It's calming. It's encouraging. It encourages you into silence and stillness. I've actually used this collection to, I'm going to say, renew a little bit of my own spiritual journey path. Often in this home, I haven't been able to really get into some peacefulness at the level I like. And these candles have really helped me. And this one in particular, starting off with Tranquil Mind, it calmed me. It soothed me. I was able then to go, actually, after lighting it, I went into a little meditation for a while. So this collection very much has a very personal journey for me. And I want to emphasize that in case people are interested in the sort of personal journey aspect of this collection. But I'm also going to give you all the information about how it burns, how long, how strong the scent, and so that you can make your own conclusions about what you might be interested in. So I had this innate desire to breathe this in and bring it into my body, this scent. It didn't just last out here. I wanted to take it in. And this is what really calmed me. Even starting with just the cold scent, it calmed me into a really peaceful place that I really appreciated. The throw was good. Now I have a 3-room sort of open plan, living room, dining room, kitchen. Some of you have seen the kitchen and the dining room in other videos. The throw was good. It permeated the entire downstairs area. And I burned it about 2 to 3 hours. And after blowing it out the first time, the scent lingered for a long time in the air. I actually left home and came back. And when I opened the door, there was a significant scent still in the air. I repeated this process again, and it has a very consistent scent to it. The second time I lit it, it was the same process. Also, the scent itself, really lit, is consistent with the scent when it's cold. So I just think this is a really beautiful candle. The next candle that we said in our other video, from Tranquil Mind leads to divine clarity, or it opens up to divine clarity. And so the chant on divine clarity is, open wide my inner sight, guide me with the sacred light. Let truth arise, illusions part, reveal what's hidden in my heart. With every glow and cleansing air, bring wisdom pure and vision fair. These are beautiful chants. And I want to tell you that the stones, which aren't present, they're actually a clear quartz crystal and sort of radiate spiritual power. This scent is seriously like, it takes you out of reality. It's sort of like otherworldly. It just takes you somewhere that's otherworldly. And there's almost a little bit of an intoxicating quality to it, like an enchanted garden. It's clean like linen. It's fresh like citrus. And the layers of scents, they go from lavender to what was that? A light moss. And then it's met by this sweetness of resins and musk and myrrh. And there was a sense, there's a concept of a savoring of senses in India called rasa. It means that all of the elements are present, almost like a stew where you can see or detect all of the individual elements, but they're all working together in one blissful experience that it just takes you in a very surrounding way. And that's what the scent cold does that. It's amazing. Now, here's what's going to be interesting. On the first lighting, it took a little longer for it to throw a scent. It wasn't as strong. It wasn't as nuanced. It didn't seem as intoxicating. The scent kind of blurred into a general scent that did not match the scent cold. I burned it for about 2 to 3 hours and no change. I blew it out and it was only mildly in the air after. The scent that you detect cold, it starts to return as it cools. So it's really interesting how the nuances were more in the coldness of the scent rather than when it was burning. And I left home. I blew it out. It didn't linger that long in the air. I left home and returned, and it was not really noticeable at all until I got close to the candle and kind of got a little bit of it again, but it was still barely noticeable. Now, for a few days, I kind of was like, well, this is really light, and it's maybe if there's a warmer or something, people might like it. But today, thanks to the last candle, which I'll tell you about later, got me to think about maybe I should review this in a smaller room. And so I lit this in my bedroom and shut the door. And within a half an hour, 40 minutes, I walked in. The scent was much more present than it was downstairs. What I thought was hardly noticeable were light. It was there. It was now, almost a medium scent. And that little bit of the nuances and that little bit of that little intoxicating quality started to emerge. I left, came back another half hour, and it was a nice, beautiful scent. So I'm going to say, to give this candle a chance, I really think that it needs to be in a smaller room. Maybe you have a meditation room or just a smaller, quieter area where you'd like to be. This Divine Clarity candle, I think, does better in a smaller space than in an open plan. Okay, so our third candle, let's see. Yes, Healing Light. The chant for Healing Light is, from root to crown, I mend and glow. With healing light, let wellness flow. Let pain release, let calm remain. With every breath, dissolve the strain. By flame and scent, my soul is whole, renewed in spirit, heart, and soul. Beautiful. Bonnie said that there were light green stone, which interesting. She even said it was like my bracelet that I wear. And she called it adventurine. So the stones look like that, and they are in the wax, but now they're slightly under the surface. this scent is also clean, and it has a very natural medicinal quality, not a chemical medicinal quality, a very natural sort of medicinal cleansing quality. The eucalyptus, the vapor of the eucalyptus, it penetrates. The aloe is soothing in it. There's a calming of a tea. You can just tell that dry tea, but it is a calming. And the bergamot has a spiciness to it, and it perks it up. And the musk gives it a little lift. And then there's actually the musk gives it some perks it up in richness, but then the lift of it comes with the white mint. You can really like detect all these nuances when it's cold. It's so interesting. This had the same quality burning as the other candle, the second candle, which was Divine Clarity. And that was, it took a while to throw a scent for me. I wasn't detecting much. It was very light. When I started to detect a scent after a longer while, it was a very blended scent. It lost the complexity, the nuances. It really, it didn't speak that much to me, very honestly. It did get like a little, it's interesting because it got a little darker and heavier as it was burning. The lightness of it just sort of faded away and it got a little darker. But it didn't have a lot of distinction. And so, fortunately, I, took this candle today and put it in another room, bedroom by itself with the door closed. And sure enough, again, just took a little bit longer, maybe about 30 to 40 minutes before I really started to detect a good medium scent in the room. And then again, I walked in about a half an hour later and the scent was fully present. And it did have that cleansing medicinal quality, soothing. It was really pretty. And I was sorry that I didn't do it earlier because for a couple of days, I sort of just held this candle as though it's very light. But I wanted you to hear that in the open plan, it really didn't throw very well. But in a room by itself, it did very well. And I think it's a really, so far, they're all just a beautiful stage in this collection. So my other notes were about no longevity. That's the thing. When it was after blowing it out downstairs that it didn't really have any longevity. I left and came back, and when I got home, I hardly smelled anything in the air. And today, when I blew it out and walked back into the room, the scent lingers. It was stronger, of course, in that room, so it lingered. So I really think I'm so glad I did that exploration today with these candles that I thought were on the lighter side, that they came through. Our next is the inner fire. So this is after we're healed. This fire with this light within us starts to strengthen. And this chant is, from deep within, my strength ignites. I rise and burn with fearless light. No doubt shall bind, no fear control. I am the fire, fierce and whole. With power clear and heart aflame, I take my path, I speak my name. That strength, that just confidence from within and letting that fire out is a beautiful chant for this. The ingredients in this are blood orange, fiery spice, cinnamon bark, clove bud, amber, and citron. And these have a stone that Bonnie called carnelian, and they are a red. And it really has to do with like physical well-being and willpower and sexuality. It's hot. It's spicy. The clove and the cinnamon definitely predominate. The blood orange and the citron just kind of like peeks around the corner when it's cold. It's really the centerpiece is the clove and the cinnamon, but around the edges. Then there, as the scent opens, there's also a little bit. There was like the fiery spice part of it. It's almost like paprika or a light pepper of some sort, light red pepper, very lightly ground that just adds a little fire, a little heat, the spicy kind of heat in addition to the candle heat, and it expands. And the richness of the amber rounds it out and deepens it. This is beautiful. When you light it at close range, very quickly, the scent begins. About 30 to 40 minutes in, it took about 34 minutes when it really started to come into its own in that medium plus to strong scent. It permeated the wider area, and I burned it for 3 hours, and the scent became a little darker, a little spicier, a little heavier, and the brightness and sweetness of the blood orange and the citron kind of dissipated. In the air, it was predominantly that clove cinnamon with some depth from the amber richness in the air. So when it started to cool, after I blew it out, and the citron started to reemerge again. So a couple of these candles have a little bit more complexity on the nose. Then you can really detect the nuances of the ingredients. But when they burn, they start to blend and they start to become part of a full scent. But it loses a little bit of some of the little notes that peek out when it's cold. After I blew it out, it lingered a little. And as I said, the blood orange returned a little bit as it cooled. I left home and came back, and when I opened the door, what was present were those spices, the clove and the cinnamon. And they were like light to medium. As I got in the door, it was like a light smell. As I moved toward the kitchen where it was sitting, the closer I got, it was a medium scent. So it lingered for a while, which was nice. So it's really the close range after it's blown out is where you still detect it. We next have Sacred Protection. Where are we on this side, right? No, this side. Sacred Protection. Oh, by the way, this is the Eye of Horus on that. I didn't point out some of the other ones. The inner flame looks like the Tarot fire. The healing light, the healing light has a sort of sun emblem. And Divine Clarity had a lotus. So they've really put a lot of thought into these candles, from the ingredients to the chant, to the symbols, to the stones. They all sort of speak together about what that candle's about. So it's a very holistic kind of candle. So this is Sacred Protection. And the Eye of Horus in Egypt is that protection. So the chant for it is, circle strong, I now ignite. Guard my soul with sacred light. No shadow lingers, no fear may stay. This flame keeps all ill will away. From unseen harm and spoken curse, shield my space for better, not worse. Before I tell you about the scent, Bonnie had looked up, these have a black stone. She thought it was obsidian. Which she thought was for the strength, the sacred strength. So just so you know, it's almost a little yang-yangish. It's white with the black stones in it. Really nice, strong. This is a strong scent. And what comes first is the sage and the wood and a little of the amber. And then, very quickly, the evergreen and fir starts to lift and brighten and expand this vapor out into the nostrils. It feels like it's a surrounding scent. You really could feel like the environment is surrounding with this scent. And it has the hints of the herbs, the woodiness, and a sweet richness. The secondary scents start to come out. And you start to detect an incense and the balsam, and it has a slightly cleansing, purifying quality to it. This scent keeps moving, like in my nose. it's like moving around my nostrils. It doesn't just go straight in. It kind of like lingers around and then it expands away. It's really interesting. When I lit it first, the scent was detected within 10 to 15 minutes strongly, quickly. It has the brighter, when it's lit, the brighter evergreen fir comes out first. It's just like leads the way. It says it starts to put a vapor out really quickly. Little bit more, 30 to 40 minutes in, it starts to throw it farther. And I even detected it upstairs. So I definitely detected it all around this downstairs area. I was upstairs and I detected it upstairs. It's a medium plus, maybe even, certain times strong scent. Just, oh, wow. So beautiful. So clean and freeing. It's really beautiful. On the first lighting, I'm sorry, I got to go to my other page. Yes, it is. You get this cleansing and purifying. It's like you get the sage, it's like a sage smudge stick, but it's not strong like when you're smudging with sage, like burnt sage. It's blended with the fir and the evergreen, so it's like this gentle, purifying cleansing of the space with this candle. I left home and came back after I had blown it out, and it was still very nicely present in the air. And then I left it open overnight. And when I came down in the morning, I did not detect very much until I got right to the candle. And then I detected like this wonderful, strong, vaporous scent. So our last candle is what happens when you put your intentions out in the world and things manifest. Abundant blessings come back. So this candle is called Abundant Blessings, and the chant is, with flame and scent I call to thee, bring gifts of gold and bounty to me. Let harvest rise from fertile ground, where once was lack, now joy is found. My hands are open, heart aligned, blessings flow both seen and blind. I lit this candle today. The ingredients are shimmering citrus, wild honey, musk, orange flower, bergamot, and warm spice. The stones, Bonnie said, were called citrine, and they're a golden yellow, almost like honey. And it's about manifesting goals. This is sensuous and just sort of luxurious in a way. That honey is so like delicious in it. And truly, with the little bit of orange blossom and citrus, I didn't even want to light it for a while. I kept going back to it. There were moments when it was cold that it was almost like I was tasting a dessert that had like orange blossom honey in it. And at the same time, because there's sort of like there's a little floral, there's like it's like a food and floral quality between all the ingredients. So that it feels like you're both almost tasting a dessert, and it's almost you're tasting that dessert and you're in this kind of, I don't know, idyllic garden, sort of a magic garden. And I say magic garden. It's another worldly kind of garden. It's not your everyday garden. I could just keep smelling this one cold. It is just so satisfying, more than intoxicating. It just settles you in, and you're just so satisfied, satiated with it. Let's see. The first lighting, its initial scent was detected maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Within 45 minutes to an hour, all over this downstairs was this sweetly rich, mostly honey. It predominates. So when this one lights, same thing. Some of the nuances that I talked about start to blend in and are funneled through the honey. So the honey sort of has depth, the honey has a little brightness on the side, but it's not like you're getting like an equality of orange blossom and citrus alongside the honey. It's as if they've infused in it. So the predominant note that's traveling throughout is this honey, and it just happens to have a little brightness, a little depth, a little richness. And so, but it definitely throws itself well. I actually also detected it upstairs as well. Let's see. The light, that was it. The light floral note. I talked about the garden. So interesting. The garden, that light floral kind of disappeared when it was lit. It's when it becomes cooler again that starts to come back in again. So that it seems like that little floral gardening note kind of gets lost when it's lit, but it's still very satisfying. So I decided, there was a part of it that, you know what, I want to try this one, even though it was traveling nicely around. I wanted to see what it'd be like in a smaller room. So this became the one that caused me to think about the other lighter ones. This was traveling around, but it was sort of like a light to medium scent. It was there, it was luxurious, but I wanted to see what would happen in a smaller room. And sure enough, I put it in a room, closed the door, came back very quickly. 15 minutes, already detected, half hour. The room had a really warm honey. And in a smaller room, the notes of the citrus and the orange blossom started to come out. So a little bit more consistency between the cold and the burning scent when it's in a smaller room. Some of those nuances dissipate in the larger space. So I just want people to know that. So I spent a lot of time with this collection because for me, it's very much a personal journey. I knew that from the moment Bonnie introduced me to these candles. And I'm using them right now as a personal journey, and I'm going to continue to do so throughout the fall into the solstice. I want to say, I know that this collection is not going to be for everyone, but I wanted to be so clear about what it is that, if you are into the sort of personal journey, spiritual aspect, with some of the metaphysical, with the chant, this is a beautiful collection, the entire collection. It all works together. Those lighter ones, remember to maybe put them in a smaller room or on a warmer or something. But it works together beautifully from beginning to end. It just deepens peacefully. It opens up. Cleanliness, healing, cleaning the environment, bringing the richness of blessings back to you. However, there'll be people that I think might be interested in some of these candles individually. And so for me, I just want to point out that I think if you're interested in some of the qualities of some, there's some crossover. I think that Tranquil Mind, where are you? I think Tranquil Mind is all year scent. There's anytime you want peaceful, clean feeling to sink into you, or at any time, this and it permeates really well in the environment. This could be an all year round candle. My second, where are my choices? I have them here. Yes. Inner Fire, you're here. The clove and the cinnamon and the depth of the amber. If you're a gourmand, this could satisfy you. There's some really good deliciousness and depth and darkness to those spices. I could see where somebody, and this is definitely a fall candle, or it could be definitely a fall candle. This is the right time for this. Fire, Inner Fire. The other one I really liked was Sacred Protection. Here on this side. Yes, Sacred Protection. The one with the evergreen and the cedar wood and the fir needle, sage and wood, incense, amber, wood smoke. I think I read those to you. If I didn't, evergreen, cedar wood, fir needles, sage, wood, incense, amber, and wood smoke and balsam. I think this could be year-round, but it definitely could be a winter candle. This definitely has that winter woods kind of quality to it. So I would consider it for that, for sure. And I think it'd be really beautiful in the winter time, this sacred protection, which we need in the darkness of winter, right? And finally, the fourth one that I would say that I really liked. Where are you? Oh, of course, abundant blessings. I mean, I just went on with it. You know, the deliciousness, the sumptuousness, the luxuriousness of this candle, all year round, any time of year. If you want that delicious honey with that little slight orange blossom and citrus, I think that it would work. So you might find that if the entire collection doesn't suit you, or none of the collection suit you, but if there are individual candles that might suit you, I think this collection has a lot to offer, and I know it's unique, and I really wanted to give it its due so that people could really understand what it's about and what it might do for you, whether it's the entire collection or in small part one of the single candles. So these candles go on sale tomorrow. I'm being Bonnie here. Tomorrow at noon, Kringle launches these candles, and if you use Bonnie's code Queen Geek, you get 15% off. So I hope you enjoyed learning about the depth of these candles, and I hope it gives you clarity about what you may or may not want in this collection. So thank you for joining me with this video, and I will see you again. I have a few more videos to do until I come back to Cleveland. So ciao, everyone, and namaste.